Hey YouTube, welcome back. I apologize. The previous video I made, well, I was recording until the camera ran out of drive space and it ended the way it ended. So hopefully you guys are not too upset about it. Anyway, this particular video is a sequel to what I did yesterday. Yesterday I started working on a very cheap method of building a shower tub. Well, the first attempt that we had was we tried to use PVC silicone or PVC adhesive that is used for plumbing. And as you can see, that did not work. After I set it all up, I looked a little bit on this pool and I discovered this right here. So that is the recycling symbol, and the number inside the recycling symbol basically says how many times it was recycled. Now, it is law that was made by FDA that whatever plastic product comes off the assembly line, you need to have the name of the type of plastic. Well, this type of plastic is called HDPE. HDPE plastic is basically compressed polyethylene plastic. And chemical composition of polyethylene doesn't allow any kind of material to bond to it on a molecular level. So basically glues don't work. You can try whatever the hell you want. There is no glue out there that's going to bind to polyethylene, unfortunately. So that leaves us two options. It leaves us with one option is to buy a welding machine for plastic and weld plastic to plastic, which I don't know how to do, and those machines I have no idea what the cost is. And then there's a second option. The second option is something that we can try to do, and that is to use pressure to create a seal. Alright, the reason we bought cutting boards, if you take two surfaces and you sandwich the polyethylene between them, then that's going to make it a lot harder for the polyethylene to rip. It will give it a nice, smooth, straight surface for the plumbing fitting to sit on top of it, and it should work. Now there's a second problem. You got yourself a beautiful, awesome surface and your fitting sits perfectly. But it's not a sealed surface. Meaning water can go in between the three surfaces and leak. Well, the way we're going to solve that is actually with a very simple way. We're going to take silicone. Although it doesn't bond to it, it can just sit on top of it. What's going to stop the water from getting past the silicone is going to be pressure. Pressure created by these washers and these screws right here. That pressure will allow for a seal. Is it perfect? No. It is not perfect. Will it work? This is the first time I'm doing something like this way. So, after the whole lecture about this, I think it's time to get some work done. done. Now, of course, the other board has the same bevel, but we don't really care about that because that's gonna be facing downwards towards the plumbing, where there's really no problem. You see, the focus of our problem is the actual surface that water can touch. Hopefully, this will work. What's next? What's next, obviously, if you're trying to build something like this, you need to create as much pressure as possible between surfaces. The best way to describe this, or the best analogy for this, would be two parts of an engine, like the head of an engine and the actual engine block itself. A head gasket on the engine or something along those lines. That would be the best way to describe it. Now I gotta figure out where to place my bolts in order to torque it down so the pressure among those surfaces would split equally. Hey YouTube. Alright, so I am back. Unfortunately, the camera stopped recording because the battery ran out. But in the meantime, what I did is I have finished the placement. I placed everything where it's supposed to be, and I have managed to drill all the holes both on the top and at the bottom plate. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this thing over and I'm going to clean all these little rivets that stick out from the drilling, because that's going to be a problem if you're trying to torque down something. In theory, if it's watertight, then I can put water in this and test it. Because there's holes in the polyethylene for the screws. So, if that worked, obviously it should work, right? Anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this thing off, come back in a minute and torque this down as much as I can. And the theory is, if it works, then you should see that white silicone in the middle expand. Everyone, thanks for watching. You guys have a beautiful day. If you like the videos, please like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you very much and have an awesome evening.